have you ever said, this is not going to work, and then they put it out and you're like, oh, I was wrong?
I almost stopped Dem Boy Pagan from being recorded by us. It wasn't mixed or anything, and I was like, yo, this sounds like tin pans. Like, I think over the last 2 years, where if it wasn't drill, no one cared.
Yeah,
that was a scary time.
So you're looking around like, yo,
it's scary out there. Where drill was running for 2 years, some members of the team would be like, you got fold, you might have to make a drill song.
You got fold.
The guys are telling you, yo, you ain't had a hit in 2 years.
Do you think sometimes us as black people, we have like main character syndrome?
I think producers probably shift where the culture goes more than artists. You just don't realize it.
They're not rapping to thin air, and also without a beat, some of these men wouldn't survive. How much did you sell your first beat for?
£150.
I think that's all right still.
I couldn't believe it. I thought I finessed a little.
Yeah.
I've had people try to pay me to put my tag on beats I didn't make.
Really?
Never did it, but like...
Wait, if the money was good though. We're the king of what ifs.
Yeah,
what if, but what if this? No, but what if this? This is the +44 podcast. I'm Zeze Millz.
Yeah, what's that about?
What was that all
And I'm
about?
Sideman. Music
Culture.
UK. This is +44 from Wondery. Today we have Grammy-award-winning producer JAE5 is in building.
Hey!
Do I clap for myself?
Yeah. Always clap for yourself.
Listen, clap for yourself
Hello,
first.
Dave.
That's all right. Dave's a part of the set now.
Hello, Dave.
Dave
This
is
is my
just-
G, Dave.
Yeah. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
I'm well. I was better before you came, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
At some point in this podcast, your dress sense versus mine will become a topic. And I felt all right in what I was wearing.
Then
I thought I put a splash of yellow on, and you came in and showed me how yellow is properly supposed to be used. And now my feelings are hurt. But yeah, now you look well, sir.
Thank you.
I was going to say that. You dress quite well. Not quite. You're actually a good dresser.
Thank you. I
You're a
appreciate
good dresser.
Thank you.
We was in Ghana, you know, because the lit people go to Ghana in December. You don't go. That's fine.
I was in Birmingham. Yeah.
You was
He's in Birmingham?
Yeah, that's where I live.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm outnumbered. I'm in your city, so I'm behave myself.
No, but you had. I remember one time you had the Bottega.
Oh,
thing,
I
and
was
like,
sweating.
are you not hot in this thing?
I was hot, man.
Now,
But fashion.
big coat to make you
Fashion.
keep them under.
The price of fashion, man. You know,
Yeah, if
it looks
I had to
dirty,
sweat.
yeah.
I had to sweat.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. How do you decide what you're gonna wear?
Whatever's clean.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I hear that still.
Anything you
Actually,
wouldn't
no, I
wear?
don't, because that doesn't stop me sometimes.
Anything you wouldn't wear? Like, you know, people are getting really into fashion these days. Guys are experimenting with like.
We're experimenting now. Like, I wouldn't wear flared
Are
bottoms.
you at Met Gala level?
No. I will never get there. I can't.
You're not at but I feel like the NSG lot, they are very they
Yeah, they take it
so
too
they
far.
don't was what
Man, them under the bus straight away.
They were ahead of their time in some of the stuff they did.
they're proper swaggy. Like
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
How much did you sell your first beat for?
My first beat was for £150.
How did it feel when you got that? I think that's all right still. For
no,
a
but
first beat.
yeah, but from what he was saying he's making now, that's a mad
No, it's
thing.
a start.
First beat,
No,
first beat.
that's what I mean. That must feel so nice for you to know where you started and
Yeah.
now where you are now. You know, like some people
Yeah,
are like,
yeah.
oh yeah, I had my mad break. Yeah,
Yeah.
How did it
This
feel when you got
person-
that first 150?
First 150. I couldn't believe it. I thought I finessed a little.
Yeah.
150 for a beat.
Nah, let
What?
me know I'll know if you finessed by knowing what program you used. What did you make that first beat on?
Nah, Logic, you know.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
It was 30. Don't worry.
If it was like
yeah.
Fruity Loops or something like that.
Nah, you know what? The Fruity Loop days, I couldn't sell any beats. I weren't good enough, you know. I just, yeah.
I used to do. I had to take music GCSEs, and I was so bad at making beats. Like
You
genuinely,
do look rhythmless, so that makes sense.
Oh, wow. Shots.
I know it's
Fired.
early. It's too early. I went off too soon.
Is that how we're starting?
I mean, she was like,
No,
"What
but
did I
I'll
do?"
tell you why. No, because I do look rhythmless.
Do you?
Yeah, I feel like people know that I'm not going to be dancing in the middle of the club. I am the girl that will do a two-step. I'll
Now you're
hold
making
my
me feel bad.
corner.
Is this like a new
And
technique?
I will, and that's me. But when I need to have rhythm, you
Okay,
better
here
believe
we
I'm
go.
having that rhythm. Do you know
Well,
what I'm
no, I've
saying?
seen you dance in Ghana. You was holding the two
Oh
step.
no, lack of rhythm won't make her stop.
Okay.
She'll still do it.
No, but I was so bad, and I genuinely used to have panic attacks. Well, not panic attacks, but I used to get so
Anxious.
nervous about going into music because everyone was so good at it. And I went to a theatre school, like a performing arts school, so everyone was like, it was like a thing. And I used to have to make beats in the music GCSE. You had to make a beat and then sing a song over the beat that you made.
Oh my God.
And mine was about my best friend that didn't want to be my friend anymore.
So
Can
you
you
thought
sing?
instead of making music, I'll just diss everyone that makes the
I
music.
feel like I
instead.
can hold a no.
That's where the trauma started.
Yeah, you see, you can kind of see where it all came from.
Oh,
Started grilling the artist.
So I couldn't make it, so none of you
gonna make it. The villain arc.
Okay,
we see the villain origin.
I feel like I can hold a note.
You can.
Yeah.
What about you?
I can hold a note. She can't.
You used to rap, innit?
Yeah, I used to rap.
Yeah,
but
I've seen you bars.
And he tries to sing, like, he tries to use Love Island as like, oh, I'm just here bantering, you know, making tracks up. But you know, like one of those people that he didn't get to fulfill his dream. He didn't get to be you, basically.
I agree.
He's not you, so now he just has to make up these jokes.
I actually agree.
Things on,
No, I know, I really do.
I feel bad now.
No. I actually agree. Like, I've always said, God knew not to make me be able to sing any better than I can. Because if I could sing any better, you wouldn't be able to stop me from being an R&B artist. And I even if I was the struggling one, where like my tunes are only on SoundCloud, like I wouldn't stop until you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, I think like that and being able to play the piano.
Can you play piano?
No. If I was able to play like how I see some man, I wouldn't be able to behave myself.
How many instruments can you play?
I can't play any instrument properly. I can play the piano enough to produce and to make you believe I can play.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But if we had to go on stage and do an hour live set, I'm fumbling the bag.
Right, okay.
But I can play one or two songs well.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So how did you know you was good at this? Like, what made you...
I don't know.
Because I always think about people that, like, singers, I get it. Like, you might be in the shower one day and you're like, I can sing.
Did you hear her example?
Yeah.
Or like a rapper,
Dear
like,
God.
you're just good with words. But when it comes to making a beat, producing, how do you discover that talent?
Honestly, I'm quite honest to myself. So I wasn't always good, and I was very aware that I wasn't always good.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
when I was bad, and I'd accept I was bad. And as I became average, I accept I'm average. And then I became good, I accept I'm good.
Okay, that's interesting. You say you're honest with yourself. How would you describe yourself now?
I feel like I'm getting to a point where I feel like I've got good ears. So
that's important if you're a beat.
Before I just enjoyed making beats, and that was beat making. Now I enjoy putting together beats, so getting a string person, getting a guitarist, doing things that I can't do myself. It's more collaborative. So it's more becoming an executive producer rather than a producer.
I feel like that happens anytime artists get bigger. The bigger you get, the more the music becomes so important to you that it's not now just about me being on the track.
Yeah.
It's about bringing the vision together. It's like when you see Stormzy and it looks like he's at a retreat and there's like 16 people there and you just go in the booth and spit, but it's like, no.
It's a whole
thing because there's a vision that I'm seeing, and I feel like that happens the more you get to the part of your artistry where it's like, now, this is not about now just paying the bills. This is about me bringing my vision to life.
The truth is, you get to a point, at this point, you can afford to bring your vision to life because I couldn't pay a strings man when I was coming up. So man would play the rubbish strings, the cheap ones.
You wouldn't have even known what a string man was.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Who do you go to for strings?
I don't know where to begin. But now I can literally say, I want a full orchestra, I want 30 people playing, and we can make it happen. So I feel like always wanted to be like that. Like Quincy Jones, one of my favorite producers. And he didn't really, like most of the songs that we know, he didn't really play every instrument other people played. And the people that I looked up to, like Dr. Dre and those guys, they had pianists and drummers and live people. So I've always wanted to do that, but the price of it is not,
I was going to ask you who your inspirations were, because I feel like a producers would have to have a pinpoint where they hear something and then say, I want to make something that's either similar to that or just make my vision come to life sonically.
Probably when I was like 12. So I was in Ghana, bored out of my mind.
So you lived in Ghana from the age of 9 to 12?
9 to 12, yeah. 9 to 12, yeah. I always mixed the number.
Where were you before that?
I was here. So I was born here, went back to Ghana for 3 years, came back.
Now, I have to ask a question that's going to make me sound wild to our people. But how did that feel?
At the time,
when you had to go back?
At the time, didn't feel amazing.
Why did you go? Was it because you was naughty?
I would say I was naughty.
Everyone around me was.
Somebody's about to get blamed.
As a collective of 5 boys in the house.
Yeah,
so I got 4 brothers. And I have an older brother. And I say he was the naughty one. If I'm being completely honest.
It sounds like he still got beef with the man over there.
No. He was, but I was a tag along.
Right. Were you easily influenced?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll tag along. If guys are going to do something dumb, I'm let's go. But at heart, I didn't want to.
The reason why I asked is because, like, obviously, sometimes I have a lot to say about Britain and red blah blah blah. But let's be clear, like, I'm an immigrant, and the entire time I've been here, when I didn't have my British passport, I lived in fear of going back to Jamaica. People are like, oh yeah, when the holidays, like, yeah, shout out to you. but I lived in absolute. So I can't imagine growing up here and them like, yep, going back. Like, I'd be imagining mad things like going back in a ship.
You always hear trauma stories about that, don't they? Like, everyone's like, my mum said I was going to Disneyland, and then it wasn't Disneyland.
Yeah.
They, you know, always say,
that's what they used to do.
That's I don't
people
know.
used to get it.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta tell me where I'm going.
They'll be like, yeah, if you was like bad breed, apparently.
Yeah,
like, that used to happen to a couple of the girls at my church. They'd be like, they'd just
get
disappear.
sent,
That's wild.
Like, my parents gave us the courtessy of saying we're going to Ghana. They didn't say how long.
Yeah.
But they said, we're going to Ghana. You just be there for, I don't know, maybe 1-2 months. Turned into 3 years, but...
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, I rate that.
Yeah.
You know why I rate that? I rate a parent that's willing to uproot their life in order to make sure that their kids are raised correctly. I just rate the idea of that, because I know a lot of people that need to move with their kids immediately. They need to go somewhere else where they can punish them in the way that will make them listen. Yeah. And that's the best I can say on that.
So talk to us about, we said at the beginning, Grammy-award-winning producer.
Yeah.
How does that feel when you actually hear people say that?
Honestly, it makes me smile. Like, I'm happy that we can say it, but then I can't, like, it's happened at a point where it's like,
yeah.
No, I don't understand that. Sorry.
He's up.
No, it's not even up. It's just.
I don't.
So,
understand.
okay, so
just Grammy.
I explained to you.
I'm already that guy.
No, so I explained to you how what people think the Grammy. So I obviously won the Grammy through Burna Boy, my work on Burna Boy's album.
And that what track was that again? Bank on it.
So the producers, we don't get the trophy thing, you know.
Yeah, okay.
They send you a certificate, like
the man phoned you
in the post, like a piece of paper.
Oh,
I almost
really?
like, so like, you looked at it, I was like, yeah, Grammy, and then like I put it down, and then I was throwing out, I forgot what it was. I was throwing out letters and I almost threw it away. That's how like insignificant it became, because you didn't have the thing that you could look at, and you forget it. So when people say to me sometimes, like, that's nice, I forgot that, but
it reminds me of when I got my letter saying I could stay here permanently, and Priti Patel's picture was under there. I was like, this is a bit bittersweet.
Oh, they actually put a picture underneath it.
Big picture. Her picture under the certificate thing is bigger than them explaining to me that I can stay here now.
Oh my God.
Like, it's massive.
What do you think about the Grammys though? There's been all this noise around it in the last couple of weeks, or the last week or so, because Beyonce didn't win. Harry Styles won it. Do you think people care about award shows anymore? Like the recognition from those boards, like the Grammys, the Brits, all those types. Do you even care? Because streams and be like the thing, you know, when all you guys put up how many people have streamed, that is probably like the new type of Grammy. Yeah. That's what makes people be like, oh, you're dope. Then Grammy's telling you you're dope.
I think I agree, actually, because now that you mention it, like, no one around us really cares that much. But then one thing that people will check is, what did that song stream or whatever.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that, but like, and also the awards, sometimes you look at who won, you don't want to be bitter, but you're like, huh?
Yeah.
How did you come to this decision? Was it a vote? So the awards is just, it's more politics than it is actual thing. It's nice to win, it's nice to be recognized, but if you don't win, it doesn't change anything. And
I think the success of some songs speak for themselves.
Yeah.
Do you think though, black people, this is gonna sound mad, yeah? Do you think sometimes us as black people, we have like main character syndrome? As in,
we think what's going on with us is the only thing happening in the world.
We think Beyonce's album was the biggest thing ever.
Did you hear Harry's?
No, I would never go and listen to Harry Styles' album. I might hear it on the radio and be like, oh, that's I bob my head long term. This is a nice kind of song.
The Grammys reminded me that Harry Styles is a recording artist.
Yeah, and
it's that far from me.
Also it reminded me how small we are, as in the impact. I think we make an impact on the world, definitely. Like culturally, it's undisputed. But when it comes to like people listening to our music, taking it in, how it's received around the world, I think because we're in our bubble so much, we think that we're the only people here, which is, and then we forget that really we only make up a small percent. So really, Harry in the Western world is still going to outweigh Beyonce. Is that Beyonce's listenership? Yes, because there's white people that don't.
Beyonce's
really care.
not black. Beyonce's Beyonce. Are you all right, bro?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that
she thought Beyonce was us. So also, I think that we have to take into consideration that a lot of these institutions that have been around for a long time have people with been around for a long time mindsets.
So definitely. Yeah.
They are going to love what they love. Like if you live in this business long enough, you know it's never whether you're deserving of something, and always who you know, where
Who
you come
likes
from,
you,
who likes you,
What
rate
favours your-
Beyonce and Jay-Z been dissing the Grammy for years, but every now and again they'll come like, give me that, walk off and they leave. So, you know, I think that's what it is. But bringing it back to the UK, a producer has probably an insight on the landscape of music more than anybody else. What do you think of the UK scene right now musically in terms of urban
Right
music?
now, honestly, free fall. Like anything goes right now, and I like it.
Free fall.
And like we've always
I
had
agree with that
phases.
so much.
We've always
That's
had.
actually, that's
Because
actually
think about like what are they called? Flow.
Yeah.
I didn't. Where did a black girl band come from?
I like
taking
it,
over
though.
the
I
thing
know,
like that?
I know, and they're doing so well.
I like
as
it.
well.
That like it's like anyone can anything can go right now. I like that. I kind of like think over the last 2 years where if it wasn't drill, no one cared.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
true
a
still.
scary time.
It was a rough
I was about to say that.
When you're looking around like, yo,
It's scary out there. You know
I
what I
was going
mean?
to say that as a producer, that must be so nice for you in this current moment, because that means you just have creativity to create whatever you want. Is there
We
a
have
little
that.
panic?
We have that a lot. And like say like me and my management and the team are going back and forth, and then like where drill was running for 2 years, like some members of the team will be like, yo, you got to fold. You might have to make a drill
you
song.
gotta fold.
Others are like, nah. Do you know what I mean? We're going back and forth.
Walked into the office, they didn't even really say that. You just had a mask all over their face. We're like,
Mate,
bro.
guys are telling you,
It's
yo,
time.
you ain't had a hit in 2 years. They're sitting there thinking, damn. Do you know what I mean? Like, but then, it got a bit techie. But I was just like, I feel like I can make a drill song, but I would be bandwagon. Like I'd be jumping on. It wouldn't be because I was in the studio and it came to me to make this type of beat. It'd be because I need to get something in the charts, and I just weren't on it, man.
Do you feel like as a producer you can almost have a hand in shifting where the culture goes musically?
I think producers probably shift where the culture goes more than artists. You just don't realize it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I would say that. Yeah. Because think about it. It has to be the producers.
Yeah.
Because the rappers are not rapping to thin air, are they?
Yeah. Oh, they're not rapping to thin air, and also without a beat, some of these men wouldn't survive.
So like 99% of the time, the beat comes before the lyrics comes. A lot of people just don't realize that the inspiration that the artist takes on a song most of the time comes from listening to the beat.
Yeah.
You do have the odd occasion where an artist will turn up to the studio with his bars already written or his thing, but it's normally never that. They listen to a beat and the vibe that the beat gives them is what they will feed off and write. So a lot of the time, if you're an influential producer or the artist trusts you, you can shift things a lot. So I can probably convince Huss or Dave or someone to make a song that they might not normally make because we have a mutual respect.
Yeah.
And if the song comes out and does well, they will be credited for shifting the culture. You won't know the
but you know the truth.
So how does the journey go with someone like Dave or Huss? Like, do you all go in from scratch and then just create, or do you have like, I've made these 5 beats for you, this is what I think would work well, let's try this? Or is it like we're doing this from the beginning?
There's different rules for different times. There is no rules basically. So like early on in my career, up until maybe last year, I'd never sent a beat via email and got anything done. We started everything from scratch. That's the only way I knew how to work. As it got busier, can't afford to do that anymore.
Yeah.
You're wasting sessions. I'm going into sessions with big artists and they're saying, yo, I ain't got all day, play me some beats. And I'm there like, yo.
You came to make a beat.
Yeah, I came to make a beat and I was messing up sessions. So if it's a person that I have a good relationship with and I have a friendship with and I can afford to waste their time a little, I'll go in the room and start from scratch. If we're trying to make something that's not already been made, we'll start from scratch. But if I'm turning up to a session, it's like, oh, you got to go in with Future, you got to go in with this person. Don't try and make the beat in the room. Just turn up with some beats, or you're gonna miss up the opportunity.
What song would you say changed your life when you was like, yeah, this is me now?
Changed my life. I would say Did You See changed my life. JS Did You See. I think there was moments before Did You See where I was like, yeah, this is me.
Yeah.
But Did You See was like, okay.
You did see?
Yeah.
That's when you saw?
I still remember like hearing that song. It was just
Chokehold.
That had everyone, and it still does. Like when it still comes on in the club, everyone is gonna go. Everyone still goes.
And your part will make them scream before he even talks.
Right.
You know, the start of the instrumental. Once you hear the start of the instrumental, you know, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. And you know what's coming next. That was a terrible rendition, by the way. But don't at me.
You say good times, I say good times, like that. It sounds looked like you was reminiscing on
No,
good times.
you see that that time there was no politics, no pressure, we did just what we want. No one's opinion mattered. I didn't care what you had to say. Go away. We're doing what we want. And then as after that, it's become a lot more political. It's a lot more business and a lot more thing. But at that time, I'm talking like just sleeping in the studio on the floor. Just like we're doing what the hell we want. The label has no opinion. This is what we're doing. Take it or leave it.
It's so weird how labels do that. You make a banger without them,
and then they come and they holler you,
and then try to tell you how to make a banger. It's like, yo, you forgot that.
I'll be honest, I understand that now, you know. as much as mad as it is, I get it. Because sometimes I've learned artists are not necessarily the best A&Rs. I'm not saying the labels are.
Yeah.
But I don't actually think the person who creates and writes the music should choose what music comes out. A lot of the times they are a bit more emotionally connected to what actually sounds rather than what sounds good. Right. So an artist will make 40 songs and think all 40 songs are bangers. Yeah. But the truth is about 20 of them are shit. And you need someone to say that's shit.
Yeah.
When artists, not all artists, but some artists left to their own devices, there's artists that I think are so talented, and they should be gone. Yeah. And then you listen to that song was bad. Why did no one in your team say don't drop that? And they might put out 5 bad songs in a row. But when you've been in a room with them, you realize they might actually be better than the artist who's bigger than them, because the artist who's bigger than them might have a good A&R who's picking the better songs.
I'd hate the pressure of an A&R right now, because like, what's his name again? Roddy Ricch walked into the studio and goes,
hey, that was hard.
Walked out, said, yeah, release that. And it's worked. You gotta say, like, how can you might listen to something and tell a man, yo, that's not it. And in this day and age, it could be it.
Have you ever said, this is not gonna work, and then they put it out and you're like, oh, I was wrong?
Not this is not gonna work, but I almost stopped Dem Boy Pagan from being recorded by us, because he played me the beat and it wasn't mixed or anything, and I was like, yo, this sounds like tin pans. Like, what are you doing? And I was wrong, because he was like, Jay, just shush, let me do this one. Trust me. As he's recording it, I start nodding a bit. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I couldn't hear what he was hearing. So sometimes we get it wrong, innit? But after he done it, man, you
might be able. That's right, go on.
No, I was gonna say, how is your relationship with Huss? Everyone wants, because everyone wants a bit of Huss. Everyone's like, when is he gonna bring it? And then I think you said something that the album was coming out. Did you?
No, I was messing around.
Oh, okay, because everyone took it. Everyone was like, oh my god, everyone took it. And then everyone knows that you two together is just. So, are you working on this new album?
No, so I'm not working on a new album, but it's creative.
That made me have like a little bit of, you see, the anxiety as my chest
but the album,
it was like,
I've heard the album. It's hard. Like, it's good. It's just not creatively what I think he should have done, and it's a bit selfish of me, because with Huss, it was very easy. He would come to the studio, and I'd be like, yo, this is what I think we should do, you know, and we'll do it that way. And so I got so used to that when. Now he's confident in his bag and he wants to do it his way. And I'm like, I don't agree with your way. I don't think, it's like, okay, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I just had to take myself out, because like the album's so...
But did he feel a bit abandoned?
No, because he's confident in himself as well. He's probably more confident than I am. So I'm telling you, I don't think that's the way. And he's saying he thinks it's the way, and he's got a point to prove. Do you know what I mean? So
I love that for you, that you've reached a point where you can just be like, I'll just skip this whole
album. No, but also
album.
I love. You know what I mean? Like, apart from that, I didn't even see that. I saw it as, I love the fact that there's obviously such like a friendship there and a brotherhood there, that you can be like, all right, you do this, you do that now. We'll come back together another time.
Next one,
we don't, do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes that's what we see in this industry. Like, egos get involved. Every friendships break up that should never have broken up, and it's just like, yo, if everyone just took their ego aside and was just like, okay, cool, you do what you're doing, I do what I do, we'll be all fine, then a lot of friendships would be, why are you looking at me that for?
No, I was just laughing, thinking to myself, is he kind of the one of the ones where you want this one to do good, but don't move too mad, you know, like, he's like, you do good, but don't like what if you just bat it out the ball, different every song, Grammy nominated, you sit there like, yo.
You know, Huss can't do bad.
He can't.
Yeah, no, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
See, he's saying what I'm saying, but with different words. I'm saying, I ain't say do bad. I'm saying you want him to do, do good.
David, you're a Christian. You should want this is not
no,
Christian.
I'm saying he might.
Yeah, but you are putting these weird thoughts into his head. That's not very Christian.
You know, the thoughts might have already been.
You're planting them there.
No. You know me, I'm very straightforward.
How would you feel if you work with somebody on something and then you two have creative differences and they go off and do something on their own that it just does mad? You would have been...
Because if it does mad, better for me because on the fourth one he's set up way better.
And also,
I needed to do well.
The way I would see it is the reason why I feel like J Hus is at a level where, like you said, he can release anything and people are gonna love it because it's J Hus, right? And it's like his creativity and his ability is amazing. But the reason why he's being able to get to that point is because of everything that came before it. So I would still see it as not you're the reason, I'm the reason why, but what we built together is why you were able to even do this. So this should do good.
Oh, that's logical and that makes sense.
Yeah, because I'm a logical creature. You're a bare emotional. That's why I'm the man in this relationship.
I'm the emotional one of the two of us.
So let's talk about you as a. So everyone knows you're a producer. Are you now? Are we going into the artist side now? Because you got a new project. You dropped your single.
Yeah. So
go on, talk to us about that.
So it's always been a struggle to be like to get artists to be a bit more creative than they feel comfortable being because they have to stand behind the song. So if I'm telling an artist, I think you should dance or sing this way, and sometimes like artists are the most paranoid people you'd meet. They're like, oh, nah, man, I'm too gangster for that. Or I'm too this for that. A lot of the time they're like, oh, a song is amazing, but they don't want to put it in their project because they feel it don't fit with what they portray. That started irritating me a lot because a lot of good songs weren't making albums, and I was just like, I want to get the song. Let me put it out. I'll stand. If it doesn't do well, it's on me, innit? So that's why I kind of started going into the artist thing because it just gives me a lot more freedom. Like, you won't believe how many songs I have on a laptop with artists, big, small, just amazing music. And it might not make the album just because I put a live string on the song. And they're like, nah, but my album's heavy. You can't have strings on it. I'm like, but it sounds good though.
Violin thing on the thing.
What's this sax thing, bro? Like,
trying to put violins on my
do you know what I mean? It's too musical. What are you doing?
Like, I was in the trenches yesterday. I'm trying to put violins on my thing.
So I'm like, let me put it out then. You don't have to stand behind it. Do you know what I mean? So
that's okay. Right. That's interesting. Because I think some people always think the person when they're behind the scene kind of in the back, then when they decide I want to be at the forefront, it's like, oh, you've always wanted to be this. Like that thing of like, oh, you always wanted to be it and you only took
like
that route because you couldn't.
It's more about the music.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. A lot of people don't think
this
that.
is new to me. I don't like cameras. I don't like interviews. I'm having to come.
I know. I've been trying to get JAE5 to see
really?
I've turned down
since I started
for
the
long.
Zeze Millz show. I've been asking JAE5 to come on the show.
You don't sound salty about that at all. You sound
no,
really
I am. I know.
You
sound
happy for him?
I know. As I said, I should sound happy. I'm not a Christian.
Yeah, but you're not.
I mean, I should say that. That's really bad.
I was just referring to
I'm
what
like
you're saying.
a non-practicing Christian.
Yeah. Okay.
As in like I fornicate, so do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it happens.
Zeze.
It happens.
It's true though, like
yes, but okay.
Because God,
has there been an episode of the podcast where you haven't mentioned the fact that you fornicate?
No, why would I not? I fornicate all the time.
That's true.
And I feel like we should normalize that.
Normalize fornication.
I mean, you should promote it. I'm very sure 90% of the people do, but yeah.
Yeah. But 95% of them don't talk about it as much as Zeze, but she's talking for the 95%.
But I get paid to talk about it.
Yeah,
fair play.
Hey, we respect it. I want to ask you something about instrumentals because I feel like you will understand how they've changed over the years. I feel like the drop isn't what it was. Like, you know, when you first used to hear an instrument back in the day, the drop was everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the drop isn't the focus anymore. Like when the drop used to, a bass used to come in at the drop that you weren't hearing before that. That's one change. And then the other changes, I feel like a lot of the instrumentation is being taken out in favor for much more simple beats. How does that affect you as a producer?
Doesn't affect me. You just have to adjust. I feel like the way things are consumed are quick now, so like TikTok and all that stuff, even when you make a song, if you made the intro past 15, 20 seconds, radio might tell you they're not playing it. It takes too long to get into it.
Facts.
Jesus.
Like literally, like we send songs for radio and they go, the tempo's not right. Yeah. Like, what's that? Play the song, bro. And then play the song. If your fans don't like it, you can take it off. But it's become like it's really hard to get support. A drop having impact. It's not. People think it's the sounds that happen in the drop that make the impact. Sometimes it's the wait. Yes. It's how long the wait was. It was the build up that makes the drop feel. You can't do that now.
Build up is gone.
Yeah, they won't.
Mariah spent 15 seconds. Do.
But that's why I love the old school R&B songs because the build up and then it will just drop. Like, you know, like Mace, like tell me what you want. Like, you know how long and then it will just drop and you're like, ooh. And we don't have the.
Not to mention, you think you talk to anybody about a bridge now?
Oh my God.
Why is the beat changed?
Oh my God. I literally said this. Do you remember back in the day when the song would have a verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus, and you'd have,
You have
and
an
then
and then a random outro with like,
now
You'd even have an instrumental part like that. Just
Right?
running. Yeah.
you remember that? What's that guy? That,
remember Maria, where just the guitarist just
Yeah.
mad
Yeah.
like 15 seconds.
You can't do that now.
But I get, so that's the reason that what you're saying is that's the reason why now you decided. Basically, what you're saying,
Yeah.
the change in everything is why you've now decided I'm going to just put out my own.
Yeah,
because
just
you
have-
can
you can have fun,
actually.
yeah.
Does it
there's
make beat making more boring? You half made the beat and he's like, I made the banger already. Like in your head, I've only made
no.
half of the beat.
See, that's another thing people get confused. Sometimes it's harder to make a simple beat slap than it is
really?
with element. If you can make 4 sounds slap, you are a genius.
Yeah.
Like, you see, like Dr. Dre when he was making those beats, din 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 din. You know how simple that beat is. I beg you, try it. It's not gonna slap the same. Like, it's harder to make a simple beat work.
But then I always think if a beat is simple and it slaps and a song slaps with a simple beat, is it the beat or the artist that made it slap? The song slap? Because
it could go both ways. There's a lot of songs that I've heard that it's definitely just the beat.
Okay, right.
And then there's other songs I'm like, this beat is whack. It's the lyrics. There's certain things that, and some are both.
Is the plan to do like a album then of like a kind of DJ Khaled kind of thing where you just bring loads of people together and do like an album?
If things permit, over here it's a bit hard. Like, you see in America, I don't want to sound bitter, but you see in America, like Drake or someone will jump on 20 DJ Khaled songs.
Yeah, it's facts.
See in the UK, if you get one song from an artist,
That's it.
Really?
That's all you're
Even at
getting.
your level?
mate, even at my level, I've got songs of everyone. Getting clearances is my biggest difficulty.
Really?
So it's like,
do you ever feel like that's a bit of ungratefulness?
I used to, but it's not. Everyone's doing their own thing. Why should they stop for you?
Why is Drake stopping for Khaled?
America's mentality is different. Like, obviously, like you see, like in America, you'd see like the producers really got bigged up a lot. So you didn't even have to have a tag.
Yeah,
The only reason there is a JAE5 tag was because artists would try to hide who made their beat so that someone else didn't get to. So I couldn't make any money. The tag is literally because the way the UK was set up. As
it's
a
your
producer,
CV, the tag?
Yeah, as a producer, you couldn't think. It's changed a lot now because now your tag has almost become a brand, and so like I've had people try to pay me to put my tag on beats I didn't make.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
like,
mad.
Yeah, I'd never do it, but like, people,
Wait, if the money was good.
I've had.
We here at
trust
this
me,
podcast like to bribe people.
I've been offered stupendous amounts of money for something. Like that.
We're the king or queen of what ifs.
Yeah,
What if this? No, but what if this?
If it was a mill or something, tag it.
There you go.
But yeah, but
If it was a mill and the beat's dead,
if it's a dead
and
beat,
it's just JAE5,
and it's a good artist on that dead beat, yeah, and the artist makes this, I'd have to hear the song, makes the song half decent, run me my money.
No, but also that would test the power of your name, because you know sometimes your name can be so solid that no matter what you do, people are like, oh, JAE5 done this. It's obviously
Not
it's
as a
good.
producer.
Like no, because they might think it's like when Kanye, like some of the stuff Kanye puts out, only because it's Kanye do people think it's amazing.
you know what that reminds
do you
me
know what I'm saying?
When I played Donda for the first time and the first track was just somebody saying Donda, that's like, yo, because I didn't know what was coming next. I was like, yo, if Kanye always plays with me, if it's just a whole track, if it's just a whole album of somebody saying, because I think Kanye, at that time I'm thinking Kanye is wild enough to make a whole album.
Yeah, because he's
Donda.
so dope. Everyone's gonna, because you know when some people are such geniuses, that the normal person like myself,
They'll call them
I'll
geniuses.
hear it and my doubt will be like, but this person is so dope. I must be so dumb that I'm not even hearing.
So then you come out and say, I got it.
I'm not
'cause you
even
don't
at
wanna be
that
left out.
ability of JAE5 to understand why he made this song.
I think.
Who's your dream collab?
Dream collab, Bruno Mars.
Really? Yeah, that would be. Oh yeah,
That-
because that would be sick.
You're saying a lot there.
Bruno Mars.
He's not just saying, obviously Bruno Mars is a big and very talented artist, but his instrumentals.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Bro,
you'd
Bruno
have
Mars.
lots of fun.
You can't put in the Reason drum pattern. You have to.
Nah,
you
really have
to
to-
bring the sticks to the
Yeah,
studio.
yeah.
You get me?
See that, man, the way they're producing songs and like even his vocal, like
Perfection.
you cannot not be a genius and work with them. It won't cut it, man.
I respect that as a pick. Like I respect that highly.
I absolutely love you and your partner, Pearl.
She's alright.
I love her so much. She's here
You
now.
say she's alright.
I absolutely love her. And the reason why I love you guys is because I feel like you guys give a really honest, I'm not in your household, so I wouldn't know. But the representation you guys give of like just a nice, normal kind
house.
of Well, I mean, at the beginning, I asked David what's the most expensive gift. I mean, not everyone gets to buy their girlfriend a Porsche, so it's not normal. JAE5 was like, yeah, it's just normal life. It's like, no, it's definitely not normal life. But I like the way you guys are together. And it seems, I feel like in this current climate, like, I saw Clint, Cortez, he tweeted like, no time for love. And I was just like, oh my God, why? What is going on? Why does no one want to settle down? So I think someone like yourself who is doing really well for themselves, and a lot of men, I feel like they feel like to get to a level of success, they can't have a partner is a burden, who like, you just have to be tunnel vision and no one else can distract you. So why have you decided to make sure you have someone good by your side? Because it's not, I don't think it's the norm at the moment.
If I didn't have a partner, I'd be a bandit. I would probably not be where I am because I wouldn't be focused.
Right.
I think
I've had a lot of men say that to me.
Yeah, I think one person allows you to be focused and not do dumb stuff. Like, if I didn't have one person and I was like, you have to entertain women. You have to. Yeah. That is long. Like, I think being single, if you're going celibate, then you're in monster mode. You're gonna make it. But if you're single and you're trying to juggle work and talking to girls and entertaining girls, that's hard.
Yeah, I see how you two, like Zeze said, are portrayed online. And I think it's really beautiful, but I refuse to invest in it because I'm still trying to get over Krept and Sasha. Like, I'm still like,
no, that's not them. Don't do that.
Wait, what? No, I know, but I'm just like, I won't do it again.
Oh, so you don't want to be
No,
heartbroken?
I've done it too many times. It's just like, yo, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with that Shadeborough post again. I just need it to not be the thing.
That's a good segment. One thing they did put on Shadeborough, one of your tweets that you said about the when you talk about women and the stay-at-home mums, and how everyone wants to basically be bad bees and CEOs and all these things, and you was basically saying there's nothing wrong with a woman that just wants to
Can I read it out?
Yeah, go on.
My mum didn't run an organization, she run the house. The only reason I am where I am now, the reason she's retired early and gets anything she asks for, whether house, cars, etc. Respect a mother who chooses to raise kids as a full-time job. My question to you, sir, is how much did it annoy you when you saw that tweet going everywhere that you spelt the word weather incorrectly?
You know what, my spelling is horrendous. So until you just pointed that out, I didn't even know I'd spelled it wrong.
No.
Honestly, I didn't even know I'd spelled it wrong.
No one came up in the replies.
No, because David,
because he was on Twitter, and you know Twitter's savage.
I didn't know.
No,
until you just said that. I
thought the weather conditions.
I thought I was accurate. I thought, well written.
I thought for sure somebody would have been on Twitter where they don't let you breathe.
No, and I triple checked that one as well. So
can I just say something? But David, what you have to understand is
they come after me.
They come after you because it's you.
Now I know
they like
it's me.
JAE5. They don't like you.
I know it's me. Now I know it's
to be honest, people know that my spelling is bad. So like, even when I spell something correct, people are surprised. Like, yo.
I'm not gonna lie, Zeze does that to me as well, and it gets frustrated because Zeze will put out something on Twitter, see that it was spelled incorrectly and have the audacity to screenshot it and then post it on Insta with the incorrect spelling still there.
Yeah, because I'm like, people get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, innit?
Yeah, but back to I loved that tweet. That was when because
you're looking to get kept.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No and yes. As in, like,
you can do both.
I could do both.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like the world that we're living at the moment, there's so much pressure on women to be like these boss babe and all this. And it's not even like realistic boss babe vibes, if that makes sense. Like, you're supposed to be a CEO and your company's supposed to be grossing $1 million within 6 months. And if it's not, are you even successful? Do you know what I mean?
It's possible, but it's not the only way to.
But it's too much pressure.
Yeah, it's been made like it's the only way. I
think his point was that you're a boss in either scenario, because I think mums can be the bosses of house.
No, but do you know how hard it is to run a household?
It's very difficult.
Do you know how hard it is to run a household? Listen, the last couple of weeks I've been sourcing in help. Who can wash my clothes? Because it's getting too much.
I know grown people that take up their clothes, put it in black bin bags and bring it to their parents' yard.
It's a lot. Yeah. And if you have kids as well, you're a stay-at-home mum and you have more a child, 2 kids, 3, it is hard.
I have 4 brothers. Like, my mum's main job was us.
It's a job.
And if we've done well, she has succeeded in her job.
Exactly,
As you get more successful, right, and if you want to keep a humble persona, you have to find very clever ways to let people know you're rich, right? And this tweet, no one clocked it. I clock it though, because I can hear what people are really saying. This tweet said, I'm rich, I'm very rich, I'm super rich, my mum is also rich.
Anything else you want us to know?
Got a sold out show. Thank you guys, Amazon.
With us, yes.
Amazon, eh?
Plus
We're supposed to
44.
be hosting it. I don't know what that means, but yeah, we'll figure it out.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. There will be times when I like clout chase whilst you're doing your thing, and I just come out and then it's like I'm singing the songs, and then just watching that viewer response is beautiful, man.
I need some pointers then, because one thing that I've watched on a lot of shows is how important interaction is between people. So this is definitely new to me. So.
Let me
So
tell you
this-
something.
is this your
Crowds
first-
are weird.
Yes.
Is this your first live performance?
Yeah.
Oh my God, are you scared? Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Have you been practicing?
Crazy, yeah.
Pearl, have you been at home practicing,
start,
like running up and down the stage, like, yo, it's over here, left side.
I might even have to take dance lessons so that I can bust a little two-step.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Burna Boy and Rema smash the shows. I'm like, damn.
Just
like,
bring out, but just NSG, they'll come and they'll do
Yeah.
they'll do it. So what can people expect?
good vibes. Obviously, we've got special guests, but I'm not going to say what guests are coming.
Is there anyone that I need to look nice for? Because obviously I'm single, so I should.
Who are you looking for? Who are you looking to fornicate with?
Is this a podcast or Tinder? Like, just pick what it is, bro. Like, I thought, okay, cool. We've got a man in a solidified public relationship coming on. So this will be the episode where Zeze doesn't try and get man. But she somehow found a way
Wingman,
to try to find man.
Wingman, he's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean-
like, who else than to connect me with everyone in the scene than JAE5? He knows everyone likes Jay. So back to the Amazon special that you're gonna be doing. You're gonna have special guests. You're gonna be performing songs.
Yeah,
it's sold out.
Yeah, let them know.
It's sold out.
Yeah.
Sold out.
JAE5 and Friends, which is Amazon and Plus 44's first live event music-wise performance. It's going to be on February the 22nd and it's sold out, but you can catch it streaming. You get me on Amazon Music UK's Twitch. And yeah, it's going to be a vibe. Once you've got a crowd and they are already expectant of good music, which of course they will be because it's you and everything that you've done in the scene, you don't have to worry about nothing, brother. I was at a festival one time and I said ABCD and they said EFG. So you're blessed, bro.
That's good to know.
You gotta just give them the emphasis on the last word to be like ABCD, and then when whatever you do on that last line, you've got to give it that much more energy, and it's almost like a
Suck your.
That allows them to.
This has been the Plus 44 podcast. Make some noise for JAE5.
Hey!
Now, there's been a lot going on. Did you see what happened with that little black girl? There's some video circling social media where there's this girl and a grown woman and her two daughters come up to her, and it seems like it's like after school or something like that, start beating her up. And there's somebody behind the camera shouting, hit her, to the little girls. Now, the girl that's getting beat up looks like she may be like 13 to 15.
Right.
And she's quite tall, but she's still a little girl.
Right.
The girls that are being asked to beat her up with the grown woman that's also beating her up, they're like 10, 11. I saw so much abuse in that video. If you're telling a little girl to kick somebody, like that's 10. It's been confirmed one of the girls is 10 years old.
And the mum was like, go get her.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
If you tell a little girl to kick somebody at 10 years old and she's doing it on command, that's abuse.
Oh yeah,
Because you've psychologically conditioned that little girl to be moving wild. Police have arrested 5 people, including a 10 and 11-year-old girl and a 39-year-old woman, a 16-year-old girl and a 43-year-old man.
Do you think they would have been arrested if there wasn't all this noise online?
No.
Good, yeah.
Also, the head teacher came, and one of the teachers came over with their hand behind their back, and they couldn't do anything. And I don't know whether that's for legal reasons, maybe because their teachers can't put hands on students, but it just makes me think, how safe are our kids if we're leaving them in the hands of people for 5 to 6 hours that can't break up a fight?
Yeah, it's mad.
That's crazy, bruv. This is the argument on social media now. Do you think we sometimes make things racy that isn't racy? Because I addressed the video and I didn't mention race being a factor in the attack once.
Right.
And yet there were people in my comment section saying to me, why do you always make it about race? It's because they so automatically assume that that's what's going to happen. I have no context.
Yeah.
I see a grown woman beating up a little girl. Do you know where I put race into it? I know how it will be viewed. I don't know if race came into what happened. What I do know is seeing a little black girl getting beat up is very different to seeing a little white girl beat up, because if it was a little white girl beat up, it would be on every news station everywhere right now. So I don't put race into what I saw in the video. Race plays a part in how it's viewed, in my opinion. I'd have to hear the facts to know about it being a racially charged attack. I would have to hear the facts. But what I do know is the little girl, the black girl, she's as tall as the woman. but she's still a little girl.
Right.
She defended herself, but she's still a little girl, and she's a black little girl. And those 3 factors I know will make people look at that video and not view it like a little girl being abused.
Right.
That's my issue with it. That's where race comes into play. But do you think sometimes we as black people jump on things too soon to make it racy?
Yes and no, because first and foremost, we are black. So a lot of the ways we are treated is because of the way people see us, if that makes sense. I don't necessarily think everything is racist. Like, so you know the other day when you were saying that somebody said to you about, oh, you should play this gorilla game.
Oh, yeah. This white guy told me to play a gorilla game.
Gorilla game. And I was saying, I wouldn't ever take that as him being racist. I would just take it as, this is a guy, forget race. This is just a guy telling me that he probably sits up late at night
playing this gorilla game
and thinks it's amazing and wants to tell you. But yeah, some other black people might be like, what? This is bad.
But that's what I think about that's what I think about. You know, did you hear about Georgia on Love Island after Sun misnaming Shaq? She called Shaq.
No.
Now, I think she might have simply just called Shaq Zach on accident, because I don't think she really watches the show.
No, but there's a difference between, because she was like, I just don't know how to say it. There's a difference between saying, oh, sorry, I always call him Zach. It's Shaq. Sorry, my bad.
But I think she used I don't know how to say it as an excuse in the moment, because she knows she don't really watch the show. Okay, have you ever been to something yet and you know you ain't done the research? You've pulled up, 10 minutes in the car. Let me read it. What am I talking about?
But then I'd be like, what's his name again? What's his name?
But she chose the safe, you will let me off version, which is...
Maybe I think she just doesn't know his name.
Yeah, that's what I think. But people online was making it out to be, this is what they do. They miscall our names.
But then there is definitely a level of ignorance, 110%.
Do you mean like what's happened recently with Beyonce and the BBC?
I almost think that they're doing that for bands.
I can't believe that.
Shall I tell you why? Because it's Beyonce. Everyone knows what Beyonce looks like.
Yes.
Even if you don't know what Viola Davis looks like, why wouldn't you? That's weird in itself.
That's crazy.
If you work in a newsroom, you should know who Viola Davis.
You at least know Viola Davis isn't Beyonce.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So even if you don't know who Viola Davis is, when you as the person that placed the picture read the headline, Viola Davis is now EGOT or whatever is EGOT. That's how you say it.
I have no idea.
EGOT is when they win it. She's won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony Award. Oh, snap. So she's like, there's not a lot of people have done that. Yeah. So you would know that's Beyonce. That's not. This is not the Viola person that they speak of, because I know for sure that's Beyonce.
Yo, let me tell you something, BBC. You can't do this.
But that's what I'm saying.
No. The reason why I say you can't do this is because you can't afford to make this mistake. There's good black people that work at the BBC, you know how long you make life for them when you do this stuff. You know, like One Extra, a whole building of black people dedicated to black music. What do you think it is, though? Do you think it's different departments? It's different. No, I'm telling you right now, if the person worked at BBC One Extra, that would never happen.
Of course, but what I'm saying, so what do you think it is?
I'm telling you what it is right now. It's the different departments. You have departments of the BBC that are so white.
No, yeah, but this is not like, oh, I don't watch football, so I don't know. If we was ever going to give people a black, I don't know who Raheem Sterling is because I've never watched football.
Yes.
This is Beyonce.
How dumb it is makes me almost believe it has to be a mistake.
It makes me feel like it's done on purpose.
No, but Z, it's so dumb. I've worked at the BBC, as you know. They have protocols and standards.
That's what I mean.
For this to have happened.
That's what I'm saying. They did it on purpose.
How could you fumble?
They did it on purpose.
Yeah, BBC, I just want you to stop, because there are good people that work for you, that you make their lives long when you do stuff like this. When them newspapers do it, it's cute. BBC, you're supposed to represent the nation.
We're paying.
We're paying. Because we don't pay for certain newspapers.
Right.
But we're paying for you. Don't take the mick. You know what I mean? Because Beyonce, you went too far.
No, Viola Davis is an absolute goat.
Icon. Yeah.
And you're mad. So before we go, be sure to check out all the new releases this week across the +44 playlist on Amazon Music.
As well as the main +44 playlist, we also have the R&B playlist, the rap playlist, and the Afro playlist.
And make sure you follow us on Instagram at +44UK, where you can see snippets of this podcast, exclusive content, and stay up to date with all new music releases.
You have been listening to the +44 podcast from Wondery with me, Sideman.
And me, Zeze Millz.
Listen to the +44 podcast wherever you get your podcasts, or listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. The +44 podcast is produced by So Incredible with Wondery, audio engineered by Nathan Cooper, filmed and edited by Marcus Accent, photography by Naomi Koji Payton. The podcast is filmed at Fiction Studios. The executive producer for So Incredible was Harry Anthony. The executive producers for Wondery and Amazon Music were Delisa James, Estelle Doyle, Richard Knight, Jessica Radburn, and Marshall Louis. Thanks to JAE5 for joining us this week, and thanks to you for listening. Listen to the Plus 44 podcast wherever you get your podcasts,
or listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music.